Hi YouTubers, welcome back to Vintage Fashion Hat Chat. I'm Norma Shepherd, Director of the Mobile Millinery Museum and the author of 5 books on vintage fashion, including 1,000 hats. Now, I'm not going to show you 1,000 hats today, but I will show you a couple of weird and wonderful hats, whimsical, which is why I'm wearing this one today. You know, it's kind of elegant, but it's also rather whimsical. I'm sure that if I wore this to a function, whether I was meeting strangers or old friends, a lot of comments would be made about, I don't know, the feathers. I mean, you know, a lot of notions come to mind. People might want me to do their dusting. Who knows? Anyway, it's a lovely hat, and I'll talk more about it at the end. But I still have my mind on Halloween, which was last night, and I hope everyone enjoyed themselves. It's wonderful dressing up and creating a new persona for yourself, if only for a short time. And so it's kind of still on my mind. So I pulled a couple of whimsical pieces. This this particular hat is one that we have trotted out, I'd like to say almost, well, dozens and dozens of times, I'm sure. Often we show it in the midst of a retrospective millinery fashion show, aka a hat tea party, and it's the Teapot hat. This is a pale pink felt. It has been fashioned on an actual teapot, which I understand, I've been told actually, is rather technically difficult. So if any of you want to challenge yourselves, if you're hat makers, it's kind of fun. I did read a book years ago, I think it was published in the 40s by a popular milliner who claimed that she had to travel a lot for business, and she would always take a kettle, and found that she could create hats just with the steam from a kettle or a steam iron. And she challenged herself sometimes to create them on bowls, on different shaped objects, vases, and so that's kind of fun. Now this one is patterned after one very creatively made by theatrical milliner Nancy Hooper, and Nancy was gracious enough to loan me one that she created, and she loaned it to me to photograph for my book 1,000 Hats. So I'm just going to show you that from the book, and if anybody's interested in getting this book, information is in the description box, not to worry. So this is the hat that Nancy created. She'll try to hold it still. And you can see that it's a step up from the one I just showed you. It has this wonderful veiling. It's a cream color felt, banded in black at the base. I think that's a bow or some frivolity at the back. And so in addition to being whimsical, it's also very decorative. It's still very high fashion, in my opinion. I would not say that the one we have is as fashionable, but it's fun for a party and that sort of thing. Now, the other one, and of course the Teapot hat tells a story. It never fails to inspire someone when we're doing our shows to break out in singing I'm a Little Teapot, short and stout, and doing the motions and everything, and people have fun with it. Now, the next one I want to show you is very simple. It is a variation on a pillbox. It is oval shaped, however, rather than typical round pillbox. This to me was inspired by the uniform hat of a bellhop, and we actually have come across several of these over the years in different colors, and of course service people in the 20th century, particularly in the middle decades, often had hats that were complementary to their uniform, as a part of their uniform, whether they were flight attendants or hotel staff. It was very common. So this is quite interesting. It's not a uniform hat, but it is a variation on it. And when I was researching this one, I came across a few pictures of royals and ex-royals wearing hats very similar to this. So there's a little homework for you if you want to look that up. You may find a picture of Meghan Markle wearing one most recently. I also found an image of Princess Diana in a hat similar to this, and also Her Majesty the Queen some years ago. So interesting to kind of line those up side by side and see that this style has been done a few times over the decades. And I think it's quite wonderful in its simplicity. It's a fabric hat over a buckram form, banded in white satin ribbon. There is an elastic strap on this, but was not original to the hat. I'm absolutely certain of that. And that is going to be removed. So you can see the crown. It's rather egg-shaped. Center back is here. And it just sits there. Very late 1960s, very British mod. This would have gone very nicely with a color blocked outfit, something red, white, and blue, something mini, and quite wonderful. Although this style, of course, was revived again in the 1980s. Now, I'm just thinking, did I model this hat for you? I don't think I did. We've got a little bit of red veiling. So the spout goes forward. So this too hugs the crown and the back of the head. And yeah, very simple, not quite as fashionable as the one that Nancy Hooper created. I'm a big fan of her work. But a lot of fun just the same. And it is a crowd pleaser, as I say, when we've done our retrospective millinery fashion shows. Now, getting back to the hat that I started with, wonderful hat for November weather. This is done on a felt disc. So again, it's quite wonderful in its simplicity. We have 2 curled and clipped ostrich feathers. I believe that, oh, maybe there's 3. Not certain. But they're quite wonderful and just placed perfectly to create some drama and some femininity. And this is a Lilliput hat. Now, Lilliput is a Toronto label, quite well known in these parts. Wonderful pieces. So you can, if you're looking for a bespoke hat, I would not hesitate. I have a link to that in the description box. So those are my hats I wanted to show you for today. I will be back on Mondays and Thursdays. In the meantime, have a hatty day.